Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Obviously, coming up later on this year alongside the launch of Modern Warfare 3, shortly thereafter, we are going to see a brand new integration for Warzone, similar to how back in Warzone 1, when Cold War dropped, we got a Cold War integration, and when Vanguard dropped, we got the Vanguard integration. For Warzone now, which is no longer Warzone 2.0, we are going to see new integrations for the other future COD titles. So MW3 later this year, Treyarch's next game in 2024, and that'll continue on until, either the end of Warzone or whatever comes next, right? And so far, when it comes to MW3 and the Warzone updates that are going to be happening because of that, I've seen a lot of confusion, a little bit of concern, and I wanted to break down essentially what to expect with the MW3 integration later on this year. Initially, here's we are diving into everything. Quick reminder, if you are new to the channel, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, news, updates, leaks, rumors, meta breakdowns, you name it, it's all right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date. And if you guys enjoy this video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It would be really appreciated. But as far as the timing of this goes, we obviously know that MW3 is launching on November 10th. However, that's not right when the integration is going to happen. That's actually going to be reserved for Season 1 of Modern Warfare 3, which currently the leaked and rumored date for that, I believe, is like December 5th, very early December. So just about a month out from launch, just under a month from launch actually. We'll have that Season 1 update, and that's when the integration will take place for Warzone with all the MW3 content. Now, by far one of the biggest and most frequently asked questions I get about this integration is, does this mean that Warzone is going to be turning into Warzone 3 when MW3 releases? And the very simple answer there is no. There is no such thing as Warzone 3. The only reason Warzone 2 existed was because they were trying to rebrand the game essentially as that. It, I guess, sort of coincidentally lined up that they were dropping Modern Warfare 2 as the game, but the 2 in Warzone 2.0 wasn't really all that relevant. And obviously, it wasn't a true 2.0 because it wasn't an upgrade in a lot of ways, as we unfortunately know by now. And that's why they've ditched all the 2.0 branding, and now we just have it as Warzone yet again, with obviously Warzone 1 being known as Warzone Caldera for the next couple of weeks before it gets, deleted permanently, unfortunately. But anyways, yeah, short answer, Warzone 3 is not going to be a thing. It's just going to be the continuation of Warzone with a brand new integration with Modern Warfare 3. Now, I know just simply by saying that some of you are probably like, oh great, we all remember the integrations from Warzone 1 when Cold War dropped and all the weapons were broken and none of the attachments worked right. And then the Vanguard integration where it caused a bunch of gameplay issues. The demon glitch was more prominent than ever. The game hardly ran on consoles. The integrations always caused major problems. Well, this is where some good news comes in. Warzone 2.0 and the whole idea of there needing to be a newly updated game for Warzone that's completely separate from Warzone 1 is how messy things got towards the end of the Caldera era, which I won't lie, I love saying because it rhymes and it's fun. Basically, we know by the time that Vanguard was into Season 3, 4, 5, I mean, even before Vanguard dropped, if I'm being honest, Warzone 1 was bloated because we had all the MW 2019 content, we had all the Cold War content, and then all throughout Vanguard, we got all that content as well. That's a lot of stuff for a game of Warzone that was planned initially to not be a multi-year long thing. As you may recall, back in Warzone 1, it was supposed to be just a third app or a third mode for Modern Warfare 2019. And then when Cold War was going to drop, we were going to go back to Blackout. There was the whole Ural Mountains based map that was going to be a battle royale map for Blackout. But obviously, the world shut down and Warzone 1 took over, and it skyrocketed to levels that Activision themselves never even expected, and it kept steady all throughout MW 2019, growing and growing and growing. Throughout Cold War, it also was pretty, prominent, pretty successful as well. And I guess if you're comparing year to year, even in Vanguard, Warzone held some very impressive numbers and was still technically a part of that peak of Call of Duty for those 3 years there. But as mentioned, that Warzone 1 app was not planned to be a multi-year thing. So when they go through and they add in all the Cold War stuff from a different engine there, and then all the Vanguard stuff as well, which was a similar engine, slightly upgraded, but just even more bloat into the game, that's why we had so many issues, and that's why the game functioned so poorly for so long. Then, obviously, in comes Warzone 2. This game, however, unlike Warzone 1, was built with the future in mind. It was built to be a multi-year game, and that's why now all the Call of Duty games are being created at their core from the same engine that MW2 and Warzone 2 were built upon. This means that yes, MW3 is going to be built off of that engine, and yes, even next year for COD 2024, Treyarch's game is going to be built off this engine. Now, just to again shut down any potential concern that stems from that, the engine itself does not have much to do with gameplay feel. A lot of you guys might hear that and say, oh, that means we're gonna be stuck with this movement or this mechanic. Not necessarily. They can change up gameplay as much as they want. The core engine is just how they're building the game from the ground up. So it's easier to integrate and to have this sort of seamless COD HQ experience when all the games share a similar engine and it's not something that's changing every single year, while also having Warzone in the background that's going to need updates from every single one of those games. It just simplifies everything. So right away, because of that, this integration and all future integrations for Warzone, quote unquote 2.0, are going to be a lot smoother than back in Warzone 1. So if you're worried about having repeat scenarios, in theory, they should not happen because of these sort of things that have been put into place to avoid that. Now, is that saying that it's going to be a flawless integration? Probably not, because every update in COD causes issues, right? But as far as like the bloatware goes and everything, you know, functioning super wonky at launch, that shouldn't happen for these future integrations. This also means, though, that outside of the integrations just being smoother with the MW3 update this year, the transferring of things between multiplayer and Warzone are going to be a lot more familiar and then also be smoother as well. When we see updates to various things, they'll have the ability to update it for multiplayer and Warzone, or just multiplayer or just Warzone, in a way that's a lot less game breaking than in years past. And then on top of that, as mentioned, with all the bloating that caused so many issues with Warzone 1, because Warzone 2, quote unquote 2, was developed as a multi-year project instead of a one-year thing like Warzone 1 initially was. This means that over time, as we see these integrations happen, where we have now MW2 and MW3 content in the game, and then MW2 and MW3 and COD 2024 content in the game, that shouldn't deteriorate the overall quality of gameplay and cause demon glitches and cause crazy FPS drops and cause all these other issues. It'll still stay relatively optimized over the updates. Now, some again are probably going to break things, because we've seen that happen several times this year already, where an update drops and then everyone's FPS drops as well, right? I've had that happen plenty. But in general, because of Warzone 2 needing to exist in the first place to fix and build upon the mistakes of the fundamental core of Warzone 1, all these future updates should be a lot smoother and a lot more seamless and a lot more trouble-free than all the major integration updates that we saw back in Warzone 1. So at the end of the day, that's good news in theory. We are obviously going to have to wait and see in just a couple of months' time how it actually translates to application once the MW3 updates are out in Warzone. Obviously, as we get more information and we get more details on what's going to be changing with movement, with the weapons and everything else in between, you guys know I'm gonna have you covered, so stick it here for that alongside everything else going on in the world of Call of Duty. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out, and if you guys enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. But that's gonna wrap things up. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.